In this IdentityForce review, I'm going to give you the full rundown on TransUnion's trusted identity theft protection service. I've used 7 of these identity theft protection companies and spent so many hours digging around under the hood, working with their customer support teams, and collating massive spreadsheets of data to bring you the most useful review that I can. And whichever identity theft protection you decide on, check out my links in the video description here for my latest deals and recommendations. IdentityForce provides excellent dark web monitoring, and you'll see just how excellent in this video. But when you consider the benefits offered at each pricing tier, it's pretty clear that Aura is going to be the better option for most people trying to keep ourselves, our kids, and even our parents safe from identity theft. What I look for when evaluating an identity theft protection service is the quality of its monitoring, what it offers for fraud resolution, and of course, its price. You ready for this? Let's dive in. The first component of fraud resolution often induces some eye rolls, and not just from the kids, from you guys too. And it's not even a stale dad joke, but I promise, when it comes to identity theft, it's really important. Ever since my headache-inducing experiences with LifeLock's customer support, I started putting each identity theft protection company's support team to the test. If they're the kind of company with loud call centers, minimally trained agents, and canned responses, then they're just not who I want to be working with on the day that someone gets into my bank account and drains 10 grand. In my experience, IdentityForce's customer support has been exactly what I'm looking for. In one of my calls, I was on the line with an agent within 40 seconds of dialing, and the call was over with all of my questions answered in under 3 minutes. Their agents are US based, they care about you as a customer, they understand your concerns, and they understand IdentityForce as a product. They're really quite helpful, quite professional, and if I do have to pick up that phone, I'm not dreading it. Now be honest, did you roll your eyes? I'm doing my best here. So to set up personal information monitoring with IdentityForce, you'll want to head over to your Identity Vault. There you can input the information that you want to monitor, like your name, email addresses, phone numbers, date of birth, SSN, and so on. It's perhaps a little bit light on the types of personal information that you're allowed to monitor, but not so bad. And how it works is that IdentityForce will scan the dark web for instances of your personal information. If they find anything, you'll get an alert that tells you what they found and all sorts of information about it. They'll give you a little bit of a description about the source and any specific recommendations related to the breach, as well as any general recommendations for next steps as a result of the dark web hit. IdentityForce also monitors your address in case anyone tries to redirect your physical mail with the USPS so they can get access to your bills, credit card statements, whatever it may be. IdentityForce also sorts through court and criminal records, so you'll get an alert if anyone uses your name during an arrest or something similar. And they'll alert you immediately if someone takes out a payday loan with your SSN. All good things. But just how good is IdentityForce's dark web monitoring? I'll show you what they turn up for my personal information in just a bit here. But before I do, I want to go over a few other components of monitoring and let you know where IdentityForce stands. One of my larger concerns with IdentityForce is that you don't get any credit monitoring unless you sign up for their UltraSecure+Credit plan. So that means with their baseline UltraSecure plan, IdentityForce won't send you alerts if there are any inquiries into your credit file from lenders like banks or auto dealers so that you can move quickly if they're fraudulent. So if you want 3-bureau credit monitoring from Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, as comes standard with Aura and Complete ID, you'll need to upgrade to that UltraSecure+Credit plan with IdentityForce. And similarly, if you want Vantage scores and credit reports from all 3 bureaus, you need that upgraded plan. You don't get any of that on IdentityForce's standard plan, and even with the upgraded plan, there's no credit lock to prevent unwanted inquiries into your credit file with the click of a button. All of this comes standard with plans from Aura and Complete ID. Also, I don't see any alerts for utility accounts opened in your name, nor changes to your home title like you get with Aura. So if someone tries to open an electric account in your name, or they try to add your name to your home deed, I'm not certain IdentityForce would pick that up. IdentityForce says they offer a junk mail opt-out, which removes your name and information from the most common marketing databases. Although you still have to submit the information yourself, they just point you in the right direction. Aura does this proactively on your behalf, and the list of data brokers they contact seems to be a bit more extensive than you get with IdentityForce. Like many other identity theft protection solutions, IdentityForce allows you to link bank accounts, credit cards, investment accounts, and other types of financial accounts for transaction monitoring. This allows you not only to visualize all your transactions in one dashboard, but it also gives you the ability to set alert thresholds so that you'll be notified of any transactions that are over the limit you set. This way you can respond quickly to any fraudulent activity and increase your chances of getting it resolved. You can also link and monitor your social media accounts to get alerts of any posts that are likely to be considered inappropriate in one form or another. Things like violence, profanity, and bullying. That said, I have to wonder how well this monitoring would work on Twitter these days. Is there even a W in Twitter anymore? I can't keep up. Maybe the social media monitoring would be an indication that you might want to tone it down a bit, but the more likely benefit is if someone gets control of your accounts and uses them for malicious purposes, you'll get an alert. And beyond that, IdentityForce's plans include a password manager, secure storage for sensitive files, and they do offer a VPN through their mobile app. Not a huge deal because I think there are better options out there for these things, but nice to have nonetheless. So IdentityForce's monitoring is fairly extensive with perhaps a few areas for improvement, but let's see how the most interesting component actually performs in a real-life situation. Of all all the things bundled up into an identity theft protection plan, many of you seem to be most interested in dark web monitoring. So I want to show you what IdentityForce turns up for my personal information on the dark web. When I use the various identity theft protection solutions, I always input the same personal information for monitoring so that I can compare the performance on an apples to apples basis. This makes it really easy to see which companies offer good dark web monitoring and which companies are simply out for a Sunday cruise. Lucky for me, I don't have anything too serious leaked on the dark web, at least not yet. Or not that I know of. Maybe I have some trust issues. IdentityForce turns up a total of 20 dark web alerts for my personal information, and 10 of those dark web alerts are unique. They include login credentials for popular websites like Dropbox, Canva, and MySpace. There's also a combo hit of one of my Gmails and my phone number. That kind of pegs me down. And even the username and password for one of my Gmail accounts is in there. I changed it years ago. I was seeing all sorts of weird stuff, but at least now I know why. The remaining non-unique dark web alerts come from login compilations posted on the dark web, so that identity thieves don't have to work too hard to find what they're looking for. Wouldn't want to inconvenience them. I want to note that dark web monitoring isn't an exact science, and there's no perfect overlap in my experience. One company's always finding something that another company doesn't. But with that in mind, IdentityForce finds the most hits of any company I've used. The closest runners-up are Aura and IdentityGuard. Each of them find a total of 18 dark web hits, 9 of which are unique. And as for the #1 most recognized brand in identity theft protection, LifeLock finds a whopping total of 8 dark web alerts. Although they are all unique, and unlike IdentityForce, Aura, and IdentityGuard, LifeLock doesn't even find my leaked Gmail credentials. So in short, IdentityForce's dark web monitoring is indeed impressive, but keep in mind, that's just one facet of the monitoring story. And of course, we have a bit more to cover in terms of fraud resolution. As I mentioned at the top, I'm really quite happy with IdentityForce's customer service. All of their plans come with $1 million in identity theft insurance with no deductible. That includes out-of-pocket expenses, lost wages, and stolen funds replacement. But more importantly, IdentityForce includes white glove fraud restoration services from US-based certified protection experts. Not only do the specialists help you with the restoration, they do all the heavy lifting to help you get back on track as painlessly as possible. And if a deceased family member is a victim of identity theft, IdentityForce's fraud remediation team will still be there to help as long as they were enrolled at the time of their death. All in all, I think IdentityForce is a quality identity theft protection solution, and I don't think you'll regret signing up with them. However, when you look at the pricing, I just think Aura is a better deal. With Aura, you're also getting that white glove fraud restoration and up to $1 million in identity theft insurance per adult, which is up to $5 million on their family plan. And when you consider that you really need the UltraSecure+Credit plan to unlock the full benefits of IdentityForce, the price really makes Aura's plans more compelling. At the time of filming, an UltraSecure+Credit individual package from IdentityForce costs $29.95 per month paid monthly, whereas Aura's individual plan costs $15 per month paid monthly. I'd like to compare the family plans on price, but IdentityForce's family plan covers only 2 adults, so it's not a direct comparison. Of course, these prices are before you apply my discounts. Remember to check out my links in the video description for my latest deals and recommendations. I'll make sure to keep those updated. You can check out my full review of Aura right here on this channel, and I have tons more in the queue for you guys, so stay tuned.